I'm Dr. Rufus Brown, and I'm speaking to you from Berkeley, California. In my last video, I laid out a thesis that many of you found challenging. That the very authoritarianism Americans condemn in China is already manifesting within their own lives, albeit in the form of a corporate plutocracy controlled by two parties. That video is now in the China dossier, where it belongs, because it's not truly about China. It's about America's blindness. And that blindness is precisely why the recent spectacle of the TikTok refugees was so revealing. When the US government, in a spectacular display of paternalistic overreach, threatened to ban TikTok, what did a massive segment of young Americans do? They didn't simply migrate to Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts. No, in a glorious, defiant moment of mass rebellion, they flooded a Chinese social media app, RedNote, or Xiaohongshu. They went there as a protest, as a collective middle finger to the establishment, as some users put it. They went there, and what they discovered about China was an absolute eye-opener. It was a shock to their system, a direct contradiction to everything they've been told their entire lives. Suddenly, they were seeing real, slice-of-life videos from China, not factory workers, not political rallies, but fashion, lifestyle, travel, consumer goods, and a level of modern infrastructure that made their own local environment look like it belonged in a history book. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the truth. What those TikTok refugees saw is not some elaborate video manufactured by the Chinese Communist Party to deceive Americans. It is the reality of life for a rapidly growing, confident middle class in the Far East. I've been speaking about this reality, the true reality of China, Singapore, Malaysia, and the wider region, for quite some time. My years living and studying in the Far East, immersed in the culture and fluent in Mandarin, gave me a first-hand view that simply doesn't filter through the Atlantic-centric American media machine. But until now, I largely kept quiet. Why? Because I find myself surrounded by Americans who have been so thoroughly brainwashed by propaganda and distortions about China that sharing the truth often feels pointless. The American media campaign to discredit China as an eternally backward, authoritarian state is so complete that it has created a profound state of willful ignorance. In my previous video, I pointed out that Americans are living in an authoritarian state governed by two political parties beholden to capital. Now I'm telling you, the same political and media establishment that created that plutocracy is actively working to keep you in the dark. They don't want you to see what the TikTok refugees saw. They don't want you to ask why China has bullet trains and we don't. They don't want you to wonder why their infrastructure is modern while ours is crumbling. The arrogance, the superiority complex that so many Americans hold is both astonishing and destructive. You see it clearly when any YouTuber dares to show a positive reality about China. What's the immediate knee-jerk accusation? They are being paid by the Chinese Communist Party. I find this accusation not only lazy but deeply insulting to the intelligence of the average American. The CCP has far better things to do than fund your average lifestyle channel. And frankly, they don't need to mislead the average American because your own government and its media partners are doing a perfectly fine job of that themselves. The purpose of this vast, well-funded propaganda machine, which even includes public funds for YouTubers to create propaganda videos to discredit China, is singular: to keep you in the dark. It is a massive disservice to the American public, and most Americans are too busy scrolling through their algorithmically mandated outrage to even recognize the damage being done to their own minds and opportunities. The truth I want to share today is not just about China. It's about the Far East as a whole. I've lived in China, Singapore, and Malaysia. I've visited South Korea, Japan, and Taiwan. And in all of these countries, I see one constant, rapid, focused, and relentless progress. Ask yourself, are you saying that the governments of all these countries, including rivals like China and Taiwan, are paying me to promote them? That's absurd. This isn't about promoting a government. It's about acknowledging economic and social reality. China is not just looking inward or solely at the West. The largest geopolitical and economic shift of the last 2 decades is its integration with its neighbors. China's largest export market is no longer the United States. It is now ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. I'm quite sure most Americans have never even heard of ASEAN. Never mind. I will create a video specifically to explain what this powerful bloc is. But the fact that the United States is no longer the primary consumer engine driving the world's second-largest economy is a stark, Signal that the center of global economic gravity has decisively shifted east. My main point, the central theme of all my videos in the China dossier and related playlists, is to awaken Americans to a single, urgent fact: they have fallen behind. China's dominance is no longer a futuristic projection. China will become the biggest economy in the world, whether measured by purchasing power parity, PPP, which it has already achieved, or by nominal GDP, which will likely happen within my lifetime, possibly even within the next decade. There's nothing America can do to stop this global tectonic shift. The time for preventing it has passed. The only thing America can do now is to arrest its own slide and to drastically improve the standard of living of the average American, which by many metrics of opportunity, stability, and public services has fallen behind the average Chinese. What those TikTok refugees saw, the happiness, the modernity, the confidence, is only a glimpse of a greater, more complex China. I am not here to promote the Chinese government in any way. I am here to promote your own self-interest. To the Americans who are maintaining an open mind, who are tired of the recycled propaganda, and who feel the real economic squeeze of plutocracy, you need to go find out about China and the Far East for yourselves. Take the leap. Use your vacation time. Go explore China and the rest of the Far East. Walk the streets, ride the high-speed rail, speak to people, and I mean really speak to them, not just through a translator. Use your open eyes to look for opportunities for yourselves. Look for investment. Look for career paths. Look for a standard of living that feels upwardly mobile again, something that has been missing in the US for decades. You will see for yourself that the narrative of a perpetually miserable populace living under the iron fist of an authoritarian state does not align with the truth on the ground. You will see people who are genuinely happy and confident in the direction their country is moving. And when you return, never mind the naysayers. Open your mind and do it for your own sake. If you go to China, if you find new ideas or new opportunities for yourselves, here's my final piece of advice. Don't share it with the narrow-minded Americans. They will simply accuse you of being paid by the Chinese government, and there are better things to do than trying to win them over or argue with their indoctrination. Let them stay angry, let them stay blind, and let them continue to miss the great shifts of the 21st century. Focus on your own life. Focus on your own progress. I am Rufus Brown, and I created this channel to open your eyes. And as I continue to share my deep divs on China, US politics, and other things which you would do fine to know, don't forget to subscribe to the Last Thing Before Sleeping channel. Sleep tight and good night.